This is Eagle Al, and today we will be talking about Greg Cosell. He's still hating on Jalen Hurts. Also, Isaiah Rodgers got a huge opportunity. And lastly, we got to talk about AJ Brown praising Nick Sirianni, but not just Nick Sirianni, the team. But let's get straight into it. All right, man. So before we hop straight into it, we got to talk about the injury report, who is out, who is playing, and let's go over it. All right, so Dallas Goddard is officially out. Darius Slay is out. Devontae Smith did miss practice, but it was for a personal reason. And pretty much everybody else is playing. Again, like the title say, this is a huge opportunity for Isaiah Rodgers. And I'm really happy for Isaiah Rodgers, a guy gambling, got suspended. And he was having a great season. He had a great season 2 years ago with the Colts doing his thing, but then unfortunate circumstances happened. Whereas though he had to miss the whole season. Eagles gave him an opportunity. We thought he was going to be the starter, but that didn't happen. Broke the hand. But now he get his opportunity, and I do feel bad for Slay. Slay been hurt all year. And if it's any game you want Slay to sit out, it's this game, especially when you have a really good backup like Isaiah Rodgers. And Isaiah Rodgers sound really grateful for the opportunity. I know he was asked about, how do you feel going into next year? You basically could put on some tape and you could get signed or whatever or get a big contract. He's like, to be honest, I'm just summing up in layman terms, but to be honest, I want to be here. I want to prove to the higher ups what I can do. So that sounds like a guy that want to stay. Now I feel stupid for saying that, he probably want to go back to the coast, or was he frustrated at the time? I don't know. I will never know. But yeah, it sounds like he want to stay in Philadelphia. He feel the love, the fans love him. And when you're playing at a high level, you that guy, of course the fans are gonna love you. So shout out to Isaiah Rodgers. He just happy for the opportunity, and prayers up for Slay. Hopefully ain't nothing too serious, whereas though you got to get on IR or miss the season or whatever. Some growing injuries, some knee injuries. Like, he just been hurt all year. Again, we got some really good backups. So if he needs to sit out a game or two or even three, Isaiah Rodgers can do the job. He could definitely do the job. And again, hopefully put out some good tape. Hopefully the Eagles look at him like, he's this age. He's in his prime now. Maybe we could give him something. Whereas though he'll want to stay. Again, Isaiah Rodgers, do your thing. Do your thing, man. All right. So before we get into the topics, I want to talk about myself. I know you guys hated that last video so much. Probably won't happen again. I'll probably make more outside videos, but if it's windy, I promise y'all I won't do it. But that wasn't the purpose of the video. Me talking. I wanted to show y'all what Brian Dawkins really had to say about Cooper DeJean, but I had so many people at my house I couldn't shoot a video. Like, I couldn't just sit in the studio. It would have been so much background noise anyway. So I'm like, let me just shoot it here. But it was windy. I don't know what I could have did, man. But I wanted to get one out to y'all. I felt weird just taking the day off because I'm like, let me just take the day off. But nah, that's not equal out. Even if it's shitty audio, I gotta put something out there. And yeah, man, that's what I did. But let's talk about Greg Cosell, man. Greg Cosell, he's still hating on Jalen Hurts. I mean, I was reading the comments on the last, video he made with Ross Tucker. He was like, Jalen Hurts not seeing the field, et cetera, et cetera. And that was the Giants game. But this game, or the last game, I should say, there's no way you go into that game, the Bengals game, like, yeah, he just not seeing the field. And, oh, yeah, it's the O-line. Like, yes, salute to the O-line. They did do their job. But to say Jalen Hurts didn't really do anything, or he didn't look that good, actually, let me let y'all listen to the clip.
What people have to understand, it's not 1 week. I've watched every snap of Jalen Hurts since he's been in the NFL and for his last 2 years in college. And Hurts is a good quarterback, but he's a certain kind of quarterback. He's not a pure anticipation quarterback. He's a see it, throw it quarterback. He's not a great progression reader, and coaches who've coached him will tell you that. I've had those conversations. So, what stood out last week, I thought, and I don't know if you got to see much of that game. I know you're obviously you do the Eagles in the preseason, but I thought their O line was phenomenal. I charted a number of his throws, and he had 4+ seconds on a lot of his throws to sit in the pocket, and there was no one around him. So there was nothing to react to because he does have a tendency to react to opposing jersey color. There was nothing to react to. And they let Fred Johnson, the left tackle replacing Mailata, block one-on-one versus Hendrickson on a number of deeper drops. Trey Hendrickson, who's a very good edge pass rusher, and Johnson did an outstanding job. I thought Hurts' best throw of the game was not the 45-yard touchdown to Smith, which was a great throw, throwing it up against the safety battle, who's not a good coverage player. But he hit Brown on 3rd and 16 for 17 yards, where the read was tripped to the right. He did not like what he saw, and he came back left and stuck it on Brown on the curl route. I thought that was his best play and throw of the game.
What is he talking about? I mean, what is he talking about? And I was seeing, like, the quarterback school guy. He broke down the game over Jalen Hurts, and he like, yo, Jalen Hurts was amazing. And then basically, if you say anything different, there's no way you watch the game. I'm not trying to question Greg Cosell, like, credibility or whatever, but there's no way he watched the all 22 or even watched the full game to come up with his take that Jalen Hurts wasn't that good. Some of y'all are big Jalen Hurts haters. Y'all came in the middle like, okay, the Bengals game was a good game. Deep shots, intermediate, short. Like, he gave it to you all. The play action, he did it all. He even with his legs, he looked pretty good. So I just don't get it. This is one of his best games in a while. In the wild, that was one of his, like, oh, that was a complete game. That was a complete Jalen Hurts game. So, Greg Cosell, I'm sorry, but I don't think you know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I just don't think you know what you're talking about. Shout out to Greg Cosell, man. He's an old guy. Maybe he watched a play or two, probably fell asleep, then woke up like, oh, I ain't really seen that. I don't know. I just simply don't know because I don't know how he come up with that take. And let's get into the last topic. AJ Brown. AJ Brown praises Nick Sirianni and the team in general. But let me play these clips.
He's very open to it. He's always open to it. He's always open to it. He does a good job of always giving us feedback, and whenever he don't like something, he'll tell us, and he'll tell us why. And then he just, so yeah.
AJ, they credited the fact that this is a very selfless offense between all of you guys. How did you develop that chemistry and that bond that you are so selfless in his eyes?
I think just hanging out with each other, being around each other more and more, and just having that love for one another, and then just to talk about what is it about? It's about winning, and that's the only thing that matters. And no feelings, and none of that stuff matters. You do your job and you make the most of your opportunity. That's all you can do, and that's all you can control. When you learn that, I think, I like to say your life begins when you accept it. So it is what it is, and you just make the most of your opportunities, and most importantly, be happy. Be happy for your teammates, because we all doing it together, and it takes all of us.
I like it. I love it, and he definitely have a point. The team has been selflessness, whatever he called it. Yes, the team has been that because we seen Devontae Smith have a game with a catch and a -2 yards. Didn't bitch and moan about it. Didn't complain about it. He just let it roll off his shoulder. Maybe I get monster next game, and he did. And AJ Brown is AJ Brown at this point. I'm sorry, he gonna get his. It feel like he's becoming one of those receivers. He's just gonna get his. That just is what it is. But they have been selfless. You got to even think of Jahad Dotson. Jahad Dotson, I haven't heard any complaints about him. Of course, the fans are. All right, when we going to get him involved, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't hear any complaints from Jahad Dotson. I don't hear any complaints from anybody. Like, even Saquon Barkley had a game. I think he had under 100 yards. I think it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. I didn't hear him complain about it, even though as a fan, I thought he should have got the ball more. But you don't hear the team complain about, oh, I need the ball, I need this, I need that. Or even if you go to the defensive side of the ball, I just mentioned Isaiah Rodgers. He's not complaining about, I'm not seeing the field. He's just like, when I see the field, I make the best of my opportunities because last year I didn't see the field at all. So that lets you know this team is really playing as a team. They're not looking at this like just, oh, these are my opportunities to put out tape. So when I go somewhere, nah, they really playing as a team, doing what they had to do. Like even the Avante Mattis thing, I dare hear him complain about, oh, why I'm on the bench. He's more big enough, the young guy. Um, but again, the team sound together. Like the pick that CJ Gardner Johnson caught with Isaiah Rodgers tipping it to him, just that's a play that defines our whole team. Everybody just playing together. And I didn't feel that last year. Everybody was playing like, according to Rex Ryan, at points of times like independent contractors. But now you see how this team gelling together, even just talking, during the bye week, how they wanted to change up the offense and the old line going to the coaches. And then Jalen Hurts was like, this was one of the most productive bye weeks. So that lets you know this team is heading to a positive direction. And I love to hear it and I love to see it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? Greg Cosell, is he still hating on Jalen Hurts? Isaiah Rodgers, big opportunity. A.J. Brown saying what he was saying. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.